Heartstain is the next BL that I'm watching. It is a friends to lovers trope KBL, and I have some thoughts about it that I need to untangle because I foresee this show getting very, very meshy. Not messy, meshy. Hi, I'm Monique. I am the host of Off by Purple Art podcast, where I talk to you about K-dramas, C-dramas, BTS, and so much more. That so much more does include BLs quite a bit as of late. Heartstain is a Korean BL that I started watching, and I wasn't really expecting much of it. I just heard that it was friends to lovers, and I said yes. And it also has fake dating, which I also really enjoy as a trope when it's executed well. But I did mention in my opening that I had a feeling that this show is going to be messy. Now, part of this messiness is that the main character, Woohun, he has a crush on his teacher. Yep, he has a crush on his teacher, and it's pretty bad. It is a pretty intense crush. And he's got his best friend Doha there, who is very well aware of his crush on this teacher and does not like it, nor should he. But Doha also happens to be very interested in Wuhan. So we have this interesting love triangle, but not really. Doha proposes to Wuhan that, hey, why don't we kind of just pretend to be dating? Or why don't we just try dating? And essentially, what he's trying to do is take his attention away from this teacher. And of course, hijinks ensue. I watched the first 4 episodes, and I'm feeling like this show is going to get under my skin. For one, I want to know what the angle is with the teacher. I always think teacher-student relationships are very hard to sell me as a romance in general, and there is such a prominent feature of this teacher, like he is in all the principal photography for the show. And from what I hear, because I haven't read the webtoon that this is based off of, but he does have a prominent role. If they cross over to the romantic boundary, I'm going to be not really that engaged with it. I do think there is always that inherent power imbalance dynamic, and I think it's wildly inappropriate if a teacher, even if it's a young teacher, is engaging in that kind of activity with a student that is in high school. I don't condone that at all. And even if this is a college setting, I still think it's a power imbalance that is a very hard sell. Let me put that way. I mean, people can counter me with that and say, you're doing too much. It's not that deep. It's just fiction. It's a fictional story. Relax yourself. But I'm just giving you my personal views. It's just a hard sell for me in particular. And from the way the actor's playing it and the way that the show is kind of dancing around it, I don't know if we're supposed to feel like the teacher does subtly have feelings for this character, because there is a couple of instances in this show so far where he almost comes across jealous, but not really. I'm trying to get the feel that this teacher is just ultimately very involved in his students' lives and has taken a liking to Wuhan because he's just a big golden retriever, and he obviously is someone that is very interested in learning. And prior to what happens in episode 4, which I'll probably be getting into some spoilers, mind you, he notices that Wuhan is very attentive, and he kind of comes to him for guidance a lot and is constantly going to like the teacher's office to ask for advice from this teacher, which is to Doha's absolute irritation, because Doha's clocking all of this behavior, right? And it's come to the point where in episode 4 that once they've entered this kind of little fake dating era and everything is really cutesy, once again Wuhan goes to the teacher and Doha becomes very, very pissy, and it becomes this entire back and forth. So Doha likes him, but is so obviously triggered by the fact that Wuhan likes his teacher this much that he kind of pulls away, and then they get into these like little mini disagreements, and Wuhan's kind of just stuck there like, what's going on? But there's just it's so far it's a very cute lighthearted show, but I'm just curious on how it's going to broach this whole teacher thing, because we were left off in episode 4 that the teacher talked to Wuhan as an aside and essentially told him that he was looking to get married and that he's starting to go out, I believe, on blind dates and starting to get this trajectory going because he's at that age now where he needs to look at marriage. And Wuhan was so taken aback by this that he kind of blurts out his feelings for the teacher. And that's how we were left off in episode 4. So I haven't read the webcomic, but I'm assuming if they've written it in to show that he confesses his feelings to his teacher, and his teacher is like one of the main lead characters, I'm assuming that they kind of want to tease the idea of a romance, which is extraordinarily messy to me. And considering how Doha has reacted to his friend having this crush in the first place and how jealous he is already, I can't imagine that this information is going to go down very well, and I envision it's just going to get messier and messier and messier. So I am kind of up in the air about this show. If you have read the webtoon, without giving away too much spoilers, if you're watching the YouTube format of this, let me know in the comment section what you think. Am I going to be reading into this correctly, that this is going to get extremely messy and annoying? I'm interested in your thoughts. If you're listening via Spotify or Apple Podcasts, let me know your thoughts on those platforms as well. Yes, there has been kind of a drought as of late in the BL world. There's some other stuff that I'm checking out, and there's a GL in particular that I'm looking into as well to check out. But for the most part, a lot of the shows that I've enjoyed have basically concluded or on the verge of concluding, and have had their episode 11-esque curses that have irritated me. So there's that. But yes, I'm finding right now there isn't as much that I'm as heavily engaged in. But one show in particular that's completely out of the BL genre, but I honestly feel like if you were to view it in a certain context, it could be, is Study Group. I think Study Group is amazing, as a by the way. For a K-drama, amazing. I love that show down. I probably will do a podcast about it when the show concludes next week. But in any case, let me know your thoughts. Thank you for checking out this episode. Till the next one.